Okay, this is the late night broadcast. And let me jump on the chat. We're going to be voicing this piano. There we go. Okay, we're totally live. Okay, so this piano, there's some history here. This piano was purchased in 1930. It was manufactured in 1930 for a small town nearby here in the Mountain West. It was purchased when the auditorium was built for the local high school of that town. The thumbnail is actual footage of that town. I also have a picture of the high school at that time. I think the high school was built much before that, maybe even 1906 or something, and then it burnt down. And so anyway, there's a lot of history. People who went to that high school remember this piano. And actually, my wife's grandmother lived in that town. I'm wondering if she ran across this piano. She's no longer with us. I'll have to find out if she went to that high school. So there's a lot of history, and sometimes it just blows my mind to kind of erase what's around here look at the piano that I'm working on and consider what kind of music was popular at that time, what kind of automobiles were running around or horse-drawn things. You know, in this case, Ford was big. I can tell. You know, all the pictures have the Ford dealership right there in the middle of town. You know, automobiles were big, and I don't know. It was a lot of farming, but the appreciation for music was there. And anyway, it makes me look at this instrument completely differently, and especially as I go to play it. Anyway, we're going to keep working on it, though. We're going to get it. Dave from down south, Davey from down south, welcome, welcome. Thanks for checking in. We're going to so we're going to mark the hammers, okay? I want to create targets for me to needle on that are very precise. So I need to get some carbon paper. And I thought I had something kind of already made up floating around the shop, but I might have to remake some here. I've got plenty of carbon paper, but I used to use a folder, like a file folder, to use this to mark ink on the strings, okay? So we're going to grab, see if I can find the folder, the last one I used, see if it's floating around still here. I usually carry one in my regular tool bag too, and I pulled it out here in the midst of the mad scientist's work in the shop. So, where did it go? Someone might have thrown it away, to be honest. Here's my old paper. It couldn't be far from there. Keep digging around over here. Just 1 second. That's not it. I bet it got chucked. That's okay. I mean, we can do a workaround. It's just nice to have that a file folder to work from. Let's see if I can grab one up here. File folder, where are you? This might work. Speaking of my wife's grandmother, I'm rummaging through a filing cabinet that came from her home. Both her and her husband are now passed away, and we were cleaning out the home not too long ago, and I thought I would keep a few things because I was pretty close to them. And anyway, we're just going to take this folder and cut it a bit. It's just going to provide some stiffness to hold the carbon paper is all. Usually I'll just use a smaller file folder, not one of these big filing cabinet folders, but this will work. Okay. Okay, so I got this carbon paper. I'll stick that in the file folder and stick it through the piano. My cheek blocks are down. The action is located where it needs to be. That got ink on the strings, and I'll show you that in a sec. We'll pull the action out. Let's see if it did. Okay, I got the hammers marked in one position. There's enough ink on the strings when you do that once to mark it in the regular position, and then we're going to shift the action over with the soft pedal. First I want to make sure that's set where I want it, and it's going a little farther than I want it right now. So I'm going to make that adjustment on there. I'm adjusting where the hammers are hitting. Sounds lovely. No, I'm not adjusting where the hammers are hitting. I'm adjusting. I'm going to needle the hammers. I'm going to voice them. And I want to create a target where I know the string is hitting on the piano. Okay. So I'm going to run this stop screw out a little bit. This is the wrong tool for that. What am I doing? Where's my screwdriver? Let me see. Here he is. Okay, so I'm going to run this out. The stop screw, which limits how far the action shifts over when you hit the soft pedal. And I don't need it to shift over as far as it was. And I'm setting it so that for the most part, it won't miss the left string. It shouldn't anyway. So let me see how that looks here. Okay. Yes, okay, I like that. So now all I have to do is shift the action over. This is when you use the left pedal. Now I'm going to mark the strings again. Okay, so let's pull this out and I'll show you my marks. I don't need them to be crazy dark, just enough to guide me here. So if you look closely, you'll see sometimes I'm a little more diligent to mark it darker, than what's here. But that's good enough actually. And I might mark it actually in the shift position a little more, but you should end up with 6 lines in this case. The 3 original, and then to the left of them, 3 more faint lines, okay? And I don't know if it's showing up on the camera as well as I'm able to see it here, like that one's really clear. Okay, so I'm gonna needle in the lines in the shifted position. But first I am going to mark it a little heavier. Okay. Could be that this particular paper that I used, I didn't get as much ink on the strings, but I think it'll be fine. It's just another hit. Okay, so now, I mean, it's a little darker, but it's pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and focus the action down. It's actually pretty good what I'm doing there, huh? The view I've got, but I might just zoom in a little bit so you can kind of see my needling. And this is going to provide the soft character of the una corda pedal, the left pedal, in my bag of tools. Somehow it rolled way over here on me. So it's going to provide that una corda sound, and it's going to be kind of a pre-needling for the regular position a little bit too. Now this piano isn't over the top bright or nasty or anything. It's actually, you know, it's like probably good for pop, you know, where it's voiced in the middle. So I don't want to take it down too much, but I'm going to needle in the set of marks that's for when the action shifted. And I do want to do enough to make a difference. When let's see, there was a piano we did from 1901 a little while ago in A, and when I went into the house, after we moved it to that space, I found myself wanting to needle the unicorda position more than what it was. There wasn't enough contrast, so I did that, and it made a world of difference. So in the shop here, the space is a little bigger. It kind of pushes us voicing the piano a little brighter and bigger, which I don't mind. It's a good starting point for a piano to be at, and then you can rein it in as needed. But I also want to kind of, you know, I don't want it to be too crazy, just in case the technician that will be tuning it or maintaining it, if they're not as familiar with voicing things like that, I don't want it to have a bad reputation just because they didn't know how to kind of alter it for the space, you know. So okay, so I'm going pretty aggressive on this voicing here. I'm not going in the normal position. I can see the difference between the black mark that was made for the regular position and the marks to the left of those marks where it hits the hammer when the action is shifted, okay? All right, so, and then I'm going to kind of settle that felt a little bit. A lot of times I'll do this stage before I mate the strings to the hammers, but in this case I didn't worry about it. I wanted the strings to be as level as possible, and it worked out fine. I think it'll work out fine. Okay. Now this could change the character a bit, but I'm not too worried that it'll be over the top or anything, or, you know, change it too much to be too mellow or something. I think it'll be fine. So I'm kind of sinking in here a little deeper, because the hammers do get stronger pretty quickly after the piano's played just a bit, you know. I've been pounding on it today, not pounding, but I've been playing it a lot today, tuning it, played it out of tune a little bit during the break, tuned it again, then started the stream again. So, yep. Let's see. Okay. We had a good group earlier in the stream before I cut for dinner, and I think it got late for everyone in their time zones. I'm kind of working late tonight. I'm enjoying it. Making progress on this piano. You know, I'll sleep accordingly and hit it again tomorrow. I want to get this piano done and ready before it ships out and collect payment and all that good stuff. Okay. So these hammers are quite firm, I'm feeling. You know, we've hardened them a bit, and they're quite firm, I can tell. Which is, you know, why we're getting a good tone, good strong tone from them. A little too bright in this area, but we'll fix that. Like I said, it's perfect for like pop or something, but for pop I probably would have continued to strengthen the treble even more, and left this about where it was, other than just a little bit of difference on the, I would have gone lighter needling on this unicorda position. But I want it to be really versatile, and I want it to have as beautiful a tone as we can here. It's turning out to be a great piano. Okay. You know, we got kind of warm today, and this week I've had to turn on the AC here tonight. So you'll hear that go on and off a little bit, but it's also changing the tuning on the piano, you know, in between tunings. Didn't expect it to stay so warm tonight. I thought it would cool off a little more, but it's not. Okay. So I'm just going right along the marks that are there for the una corda position, and I'm going a little bit back of the mark and forward because the hammer's going to wear and that groove is going to get longer as it wears, so I don't want it to all of a sudden not sound good, you know, as it starts to wear in. This might help to preserve the contrast of tone that we get from that una corda pedal. Hammers are a little softer in this area, but boy, they're plenty strong when I play it. You know, it's fine. As we go up, I don't push quite as deep. Sometimes, because I don't want to kill the tone in the regular position. All right, let's see here. So I've got my left set of strings here. You needle the set of lines that's on the left side. I haven't met anybody else that marks the una corda position like this, and they usually end up just kind of needling in between the stringers that they see in the regular position, which, you know, that's fine, but I feel like I get a better result with fewer needles, knowing exactly where to poke it. Sometimes I kind of needle off, because, you know, you push the action over, so sometimes I'll needle off the mark a little bit to the right, so that when you start to gradually push that left pedal, it's not like brighter or something and then all of a sudden really mellow. It's kind of graded, but it kind of does that naturally, I think, once I just needle this. So this is an area that we've tried to strengthen quite a bit. I don't want to kill that. I don't think I will. But I do want to be cognizant of that. I mean, I can always, even after I needle this like this with this tool, I can add hardener and it doesn't totally undo what I'm doing right now. It kind of preserves the contrast still, and then I might needle over it again, but a lot of times I don't even need to very much. And it preserves what I'm doing now, but still strengthens the other position, or just strengthens the note overall, which is sometimes needed. We'll see how it goes on this piano. This piano is going into an auditorium that was built in 1930. I mean, it's been remodeled and everything for sure, but I don't know how good the acoustics are there. I don't know how live they are or anything. We'll see how. But I picture a bigger auditorium. I usually think of an instrument that needs to speak out really easily. So I want to make sure that this is strong enough up here. And I think I've built it to that point already, but we'll see. Okay, so here, felt's quite hard. I can be a little more aggressive as long as I'm right on target up here. It won't affect the regular position so much. Okay. Yeah, I don't think my carbon paper had very much ink on it. Maybe got left in a hot car for a while or something, or hot garage, because not as much ink rubbed off onto these as is normally the case. Okay. I don't know if anyone's out and about watching the stream tonight, but if you are, welcome. You're welcome to post comments, questions, and we'll address them. I'll answer questions or talk about what you want to talk about. Okay, let's see here. There we go. All right. So once I do this, like I said, I might go over it again sometime in the future after the piano plays in a little bit and it's a little stronger. But hopefully this will kind of be the brunt of the work as far as creating that initial difference between the soft pedal and when it's not used. And you don't want it so weak that it's a different instrument or anything, you know. Okay, let's see here. All right. One more hammer. Jesse Balboa's here. Thanks. Jesse says the last live stream was good. Some amazing stuff. I'm not sure what was the draw there, but good. I mean, to me, this part is the most exciting right now, where we kind of get the tone going. But I guess interesting is all relative to the person, right? And what they're familiar with and what they're not familiar with yet. Okay. All right. So let's hear what it sounds like with the una corda in place. I mean the una corda pedal having been voiced. That's without the pedal. Now we'll press the pedal. Kind of a little back and forth there, right? It kind of tamed the regular position a little bit, but it's still uneven. Up here is pretty even. But boy, I don't have to touch anything up. This is my tool that I use. Got several needles close together, right? And that's what I'm poking in that area. And I don't have to touch anything up, as it turns out on this piano. So So I'm happy about that. Ever since I started looking at those old pictures, I'm like playing a lot of stride, you know. Anyway. So I can go right to just refining this with the needle, and we'll be like pretty much all the way there, most of the way there. Let me grab my needle. I'm just going to use the chopstick needle for the rest of this. And because the hammers are shaped nice, and because everything's, you know, just shaken down real well, I just have to poke just a little bit here and there, and it's going to be pretty much done. So let's do it. I've got bugs flying all over the shop tonight. That's kind of weird, all these beetles and things. Okay. Hear that one kind of smashes metallically. Just one little poke right in the middle of each groove. And don't worry, a lot of the color and stuff comes back when you poke. So it'll come back, you know, after you poke it right away. So first step is just to get it even. Then play it a bit, and it'll be better than you're thinking. And with the lacquer and these hammers, the lacquer voice is really nice. You might think, oh, that sounds so ugly, but just one little poke, each string groove. It's mostly in the middle here where it was just a little bit bright compared to the upper parts. So I'm just going to touch up a little bit. Let's see. I should probably see where the camera's pointing, right? So let's get it where the stuff is that we're doing here. I've kind of shown in the past how to use this chopstick needler. I don't ever do chalk marks and thump the needle out of the piano. I just think it's a waste of time. I much prefer this. It's so great. That's not to say I would never needle outside the piano. I do that, but that's more if I'm doing kind of a wholesale thing to create a change. Alas, the damper adjustments never end sometimes. So here we are. So when I even things out, it sets up a platform of beautiful tone, and then as that tone strengthens from being played, it ends up being a strong, beautiful tone, okay? And so, Yeah, that's kind of the way I do it. But I make sure it's strong enough that it feels good. So I gotta go a little deeper. These notes poke out again really easily right here before the tenor break. They kind of pop out, sometimes uneven, and it happens really quick. So I really want them even before I put the bar on where I can't, it's harder to reach them. Yeah, but it really doesn't take much. From this point, you know, if you've done things kind of the way I've done them. That's what's so nice when you can make a big change in the voicing with just one poke. It makes a lot of things possible. When a hammer gets such that you can't do that, the groove is too deep on the top of the hammer, too long, I mean. There's too much surface area. You know, you're chasing around hard spots that you don't know where they are. And so the thing to do is shape the hammers and kind of restore them to kind of a new position like this, where it's easy to maintain the voicing again. And it's kind of a vicious cycle that you'll have what am I trying to say? Right, you know, the hammers will wear and they'll get strong in a really nice way, and then but right, you know, but not long after that, then it's just too much. It goes over the top, and then you gotta revoice, and then sometimes revoicing can make someone feel like, oh no, the guts of the piano are gone. Because there's some qualities that you can't do just by hardening the hammer. It's the shape of the hammer when the grooves wear in that make it really nice. So now I've balanced out the bottom, middle and the bottom area of the piano so that this feels and sounds stronger now relative to that. But I think the piano from like this C up, maybe to this D. From this C to this D, this octave here. I'm going to strengthen it a little more, just to make it a little more just obvious that this piano is going to do what you want it to do. I'll get some paraloid B. Paraloid B 72. Such a fun name to throw around sometimes. Okay, let's see. All right, so I put some crystals in here in this bottle this afternoon or morning, and I think they mostly dissolved now. So it should be a strong enough solution for me to use. So again, this C, this B actually, to that E flat. So I'm just gonna do one drop. And yeah, I mean, it's gonna make me have to possibly needle the una quarter again, but that's not that big a deal, it's just a few notes. I really am just doing one drop, and I might do what am I going to say? I might do some drops towards me, just the high shoulder towards me. Let's see, where are we here? We're almost to the E flat. Okay. Let's see, we're on the C, the B. I'm going to do just a little bit right here. This spot gets pretty hard after playing for a while. This shoulder that's just to the side closest to me, and we're just kind of speeding that up a little bit so that it get, because the tone gets kind of good, like I said, and then it'll get ugly after that, but that's just kind of the nature of maintaining voicing on a piano. Okay, no spilly acetone on the key toppies, because that will dissolve the key tops, right? So while that's cooking, it's only going to take 15 minutes, but so right now it sounds really swallowed, right? This is already starting to harden a little bit. But anyway, I'm going to get the sostenuto rail out, and we're going to start assembling that and everything, getting the piano all together. We're so close to being completely done, okay? So let me grab that wherever it went. Okay, I've got the key upstop rail, and I've got the sostenuto rail. We're going to move the action over to this workbench over here. and we will assemble the sostenuto rail. Okay. Grab this out of here. You know, this piano plays so well. It has such an awesome sound. It just blows my mind that this existed in, oh, I'm gonna turn the action around, it'll be better for assembling this. That this sound existed in 1930 and still exists today, and we still love it. And it's just amazing to me. Okay, gonna just get the hammers out of the way, the hammer, and then I'm going to just dust this off with a little microfiber rag. It's pretty clean. I don't have to do much to this part at all to keep it working well. Okay, so then I have to get a few of these brackets, a couple of these brackets, which we stow because they're on the ends and they'll fall off and get lost otherwise. Let me pull those out of the Tupperware here. Sostenuto, where are you? Okay, this is it. So we've got these. You don't want to lose these little leather pieces. They're kind of key. And I'm gonna get this where you can see a little better what I'm doing, maybe, just for fun. Just in case you kind of want to. Okay. Let's move the tripod. Okay. All right, so we've got the sostenuto rail here, and we've got these leather pieces. We'll go ahead and stick them. I like to start here on this one. And you stick the leather pieces over the two holes, and you can see marks from where they were before. We just reuse the leather because it's good, hard, solid leather. I don't carry a lot of that around. And then we have one wood screw with a washer and one bolt with a nut on this style, and then the washer. So we're going to stick the wood screw, which goes, that one goes in the rail here. So we're going to stick that in first because it's easy to kind of start screwing in. I'm going to go get my screwdriver, come to think of it. Let me grab the screwdriver. Meanwhile, our hammers are hardening the way we want, right? So, okay, I'm just going to cinch that down. There it goes. Okay, that tightened up nice. And then I have the bolt. Just going to take this nut off, and I can stick the bolt through the hole here. And the nut, I have to kind of stick my finger kind of in there deep and find it and start running it through the thing. Once I get it started, I can just hold the nut still on the bottom and run the screw down till that cinches tight. Now this rail is meant to adjust forward and back, right? So I can kind of see marks where the washers kept the bracket from getting dusty. So when I start off, I'm going to push it back to those marks, basically. There we go. And it might be, I might be wrong a little bit, but that doesn't matter. I'll be really close, a lot closer than I would otherwise. Okay. Now I'm going to stick one more on over here. Two leather pieces. Just balance them on that rail above the holes. It's not too hard. take the wood screw, place this on top of the leather, screw that wood screw into the rail most of the way. You don't want it crazy tight at first. Then we'll get a bolt and a nut. I don't know if anyone's hanging out with me tonight, but if you want to chat, you know, or have questions or just anything, feel free. I mean, I'm kind of just working late tonight, so whatever. Okay, let me see if I can stick this through that hole, find that hole. There it is. There, now I can back thread it in that nut and start running it down. I just hold that nut still on the bottom with my finger, and that's enough to get it tight enough. It doesn't, I mean, these aren't car parts, you know. You don't need to torque them way crazy. There, now the rest kind of just fall into place. The rail's kind of suspended there, so it's easy to put them there. So we'll go ahead and put all the leather in place for each of those. And we'll kind of do the same thing we just did, but we'll do all the rest in one shot. It doesn't matter if you get the leather in the same exact position. It doesn't matter. It goes on fine. It holds it fine. So I haven't found that to be a thing that you need to be concerned about. You don't want to strip these, of course, in the rail. So you do want to get in the old threads. All right. So just kind of position that nut down there until I can feel the bolt, back thread it. Now it's in the threads. Here, I'll go get my phone so I can see the chat, just in case anyone wants to chat. And if you don't, that's okay. You're welcome to just watch. Okay, go grab that. Oh, Jesse Balboa is still on here. Jesse says, I forgot, if you previously used acetone to mix the Paraloid 72, but I found an article, grain alcohol is now being used. Not sure if you knew that. Yeah, I know a lot of people use that. I don't mind the acetone. It's easier for me to get a hold of the acetone. Also, the acetone, so it's going to, if you use the alcohol, it won't mess with the lacquer that's already there, and some people like that. But I've just been practicing with the acetone, so I'm most comfortable with that, and it solves the lacquer, and I actually kind of like it because it draws the lacquer and makes it a little firm, and it makes it so that after that 15 minutes when the paraloid's dry, it might change a little bit after that, but it's quick enough that I'm okay with it. Maybe if I get some big supply of the alcohol, I'll try it down the road. But yeah, a good friend of mine, he uses that too. But I've never been one to just like follow the crowd, you know, unless there's a good reason. So, and maybe there is, you know, if anyone out there has personal experience with the alcohol. But I've already talked to, I have a good friend who, he actually owns a company here called the Sirius Pianos. He sells used Steinways, and but he's an excellent technician. He's the one that kind of set me free, kind of helped me start voicing and whatnot, to realize, oh, you mean I don't have to do what everybody said you had to do, and I can actually make the piano sound good? That's the best way I can describe it. And anyway, he uses the alcohol. He's been telling me about it for a while, but I just haven't Haven't got any, whereas I have buckets of acetone sitting around here. I'm just trying to get this bolt in here. It's not like wanting to go in the hole here. I'm not sure what its issue is. Normally they just drop straight in, huh? I'm just gonna loosen this thing so it's free to move around a little bit more. See if that does the trick. Yeah, that did it. It just wasn't quite aligned straight. And I couldn't tell because I was looking from an angle. So I think from what I've seen of people using the paraloid, I use it a little more a stronger solution, and anyway, I guess that's the only difference maybe from some others. Okay, one more. Okay, got my wood screw in there. Then my last bolt here. Let me get your view down on the rail here. It's a little better than my shiny head with experience. Okay. Stick this in here. There we go. All right. Okay, so I'm just cinching these down tight for now because I don't know if it's in the wrong place, whatever, you know. We'll find out soon enough. And then I need to assemble the monkey here. And I'll get you down where you can see this. So we got some time here together. Let's see, we'll zoom in on the monkey. The monkey and the spring. So we gotta connect this. We're just gonna, oh, that's a lot of friction on that blade. I'm not sure I like that. It might change though if I loosen these and kind of just, maybe there's some strain on the rail that way, some friction. Let me see if that changed it at all. Whoops, kind of slipping everywhere here. That's a little better. Let me see if I loosen this, if it kind of recoils back there. I don't like how tight that is. I can change these brackets. I can see, you know, these brackets that hold it, I can see if they're tight on it. They're not really tight on it, so it's not that. Anyway, I'll put the spring on and see how it behaves with the spring. So I'm going to pry that spring up, pop it in. Yeah, I don't like that. It's slow to move. What's the deal with that, huh? See how it just kind of goes slow to get back there? Let's see if we loosen these. I'm just going to loosen them all, let the rail come to rest. I think it's kind of going forward and back with some tension, and that might be creating the problem. So I'm going to loosen all these a little bit, just kind of let it come to rest where it wants to. That's a little looser, right? Maybe I need to lubricate that. We'll see here. Just going to loosen this end one, see if that's holding it or something. I'm just going to lube these I'm going to lube all the contact points because they're not, the clamps aren't clamped. These clamps, you can bend this brass piece to clamp it tighter or looser, but that's not what's holding it. There's play in there. So it's just friction or something, which I don't want in this case, because that might make the pedal fail. It might cause a sticking note, ringing note problem. So let me grab my lubricant and there we go. I'm just going to shoot some of this in there. See if that makes any difference at all. Oh yeah, it's way free now. There might have just been some gunky on there. I got to tighten the screws and that'll add some more friction on it, but it'll be just right then. So now, retighten these guys. And see what we got. You do kind of want to be aware of stuff like that when you're putting a piano together. You know, anything that is colliding with another part, impeding it, friction, too much friction, something that's too wobbly. You just kind of want to be sensitive to that kind of thing. Make sure the whole thing's just nice and solid when you're done. Okay, there's that. See if that made any difference at all for us. I'm just going to manipulate it by hand here. Just move it up and down. There. Now it snaps back down real clean. It's not like coasting down, you know. So that's good. Zoom in there, you can catch that again. Kind of see. See, it's nice and free now. That's what I want. Okay, good. So that's on the back. Now we just need to regulate it. My wife's telling me don't drive home so late that I can't stay awake, but I think we'll be all right. I got a really good sleep last night, so I'm one of those that's, I think through my life suffered from sleep apnea, and just recently, oh, our camera's not connected, is it? Come on, camera, get connected. Come on, camera. Come on, little camera. You can do it, camera. Come on. Come on, baby. I don't know why it's doing that. Something with my Wi-Fi maybe, but let's see. Sorry, that camera's just really not wanting to connect. I'm going to restart it here. Let's do this again. There we go. Bing, bing, bing. Now we're back. Okay. So anyways, yeah, sleep apnea. Come to find out, wasn't getting the oxygen I needed at night for probably all my life, pretty much. Because I remember having issues when I was little, and so finally I'm getting some air at night, and it's a good thing, I think. I'm feeling a lot more rested, feeling better. Okay, we're gonna stick this into the piano and regulate it first thing, because it might not be doing so hot. You know, it might cause some problems. Now the first thing you do when you want to stick, let me show you. When you go to stick this in there, there's that little red dowel in the back there. See if I can get past the hammers. Focus on it in there. It doesn't want to do that, but that red dowel's poking up there. See that? I want to pop that down with my screwdriver before I shove this in, just because I don't want to break something, okay? Let me go get a long screwdriver that I just had. And I'm gonna pop that down. If I can reach in there. There. Now just making sure that clears the monkey as I push it in the first time here. We'll position this and we'll just see if it happens to work, if we get lucky here. Let me see what you're looking at. Okay, we're gonna look at these dampers a little closely as our indicator of what's going on. Okay, so push my sustain pedal down, push my middle pedal. Oh look, it's doing something. It's not catching them there, obviously. And then I release, and then it didn't ever let go of them, did it? So I'm going to be careful. I'm not going to push that pedal again. I'm going to watch these things that are sticking up. I'm going to watch as I pull the action back if they drop. They do. So it's probably too close that way, but I don't have to just guess. I can get a little light and look down there. So I'm going to do that just to kind of confirm which direction I want to move those brackets, okay? So I'm going to look down here first because it didn't catch the damper here, which was kind of weird for me to witness. Okay, so here, all right, let's look down in this part. You can kind of see, you have to kind of look through the dampers. I think it might be too low, actually, is the problem. The rail's too low. I don't think it's too close to the action, to the back action. Yeah, so I just need to bend those brackets up a little bit. So basically what's happened is the way the dampers had to be regulated with the new felts, those tabs that are in there, those sostenuto tabs, ended up a little higher maybe. So I need to take these, I'll show you here. I'm going to take this bracket right here, this whole thing, this brass piece right here, I'm just going to bend it up, right, till it goes up. Same thing with this one. That one moved. And then continue to do that down the line for each of these. Okay. And I might have overdone it, but we'll see. Or I might need more to do. Find out soon enough. Okay, there we go. Let's see what it's doing now. Okay, I'm just going to push the pedal again. Push the left middle, push the right pedal, push the. Oh look, it's still hitting right here, isn't it? So it may not be high enough there. Push the right pedal, push the middle pedal. It's catching them, but it's still. These are still up, but again, they're not. This is a flexible shaft light, which is kind of handy. They're just catching on the rail just a bit here. Let's see. So I actually like this okay, fine. This actually, the rail actually needs to come closer, but you know what? The blade needs to retract more. It needs to drop down more, so that's going to be underneath the piano. I've kind of done this before, but I'll show you. Let me bring some wrenches with me. Just a couple wrenches, crescent wrenches will be nice. And we need to, all right. So in this case, we're just gonna run this nut down a little bit because for whatever reason, the rail is not, it's not dropping as much as I want. Let me just do a test. I'm going to just disengage this at the foot of the pedal. And, sorry, just, oops. I don't really have a little mini tripod down here. Just bear with me. I'm going to disengage this. Oh, you know what? Maybe I will also turn this down, but this is just kind of a test. If I turn this down, will it make a difference at all in what's happening? Okay. That's all I'm checking now. Let's see here. Can I get that on there? Okay, good. Just gonna unlock this so it's easy to adjust here going forward. All right. So now I've loosened that lock nut. I'm gonna run it all the way. That's as far as it goes down anyway, just about. So I'm gonna check up top though, if now that this is all the way down, is that rail dropping down in the position that we need? Or is there something that's keeping it from doing that? Okay. So I'm gonna look down here with the light. You're not really gonna see so much probably, but oh, you know what I need to do is connect the pedal again, obviously, or I cannot operate it. But basically I'm looking down here and I've got a light, even though I know you can't see exactly what I'm seeing. It's kind of a tricky, that would be a tricky focus job. Let's look right here. Right there, the rail is not down as far as I want it. Okay, I gotta figure out how to get that going on and see why it's not. Last piano, it was because there was too much friction on that little dowel, which, you know, might be the thing here, but we'll see. Put this on the tripod here. Okay. Gotta scoot this out of my way. Let's pull this back and let's just take a look at the rail as it sits here. I'm seeing it kind of poke out there, and I want it rotated further down, but I can't. That's as far down as it goes. So if that's the case, no, that can't be. We can't have that. It's almost, well, there isn't really anything I can do about that as I think through, because the thing that stops that blade is the top of the monkey, which is right there, right? That top hits the rail eventually, but you know, it's kind of stopping before he hits. It's kind of coasting to a stop. I wonder if it would be feasible to strengthen that spring a little and just get a little bit more clearance that way. Let me see here. I've got to get the action out of the piano to see that. Or I'll just turn it around here. It's not the pedal, because the pedal wasn't touching it. So with the pedal totally out of the way, let's see here. See if I can get you down here to look at this with me. So if I were to look at the profile of this, You know, one thing, it's kind of, the fin is kind of bent out right here. It is kind of bent. Weirdness, weirdness. If the monkey were no, the monkey's fine. I think we just have to regulate it like this. Even though I prefer that the blade were in a different spot there. Just thinking out loud. I normally don't have to mess too much with this and it's fine, but yeah, that's as far down as it goes. So it was doing its job. And just a tiny bit more, I think that's asking too much. If I fiddle with the bracket here, now we do need it closer to the dampers, okay. I think if I pull this out closer, it is going to force that down a little bit because of the position it's in relative to the monkey. So I'll just go ahead and pull these out. They're going to be closer to the dampers. But you think, wait, weren't they running into them? Yeah, but but they needed to be closer to. Okay. And last one here. Okay. And I think this one needs to come out a bit more, maybe. You know, I may be coming back a little bit, but that's okay. It happens. I'm going to pull this one closer in the base because it wasn't catching them, and that's the reason why. It wasn't close enough to the tabs. All right, so when it was catching, oh, I can see that this is low here. This is pretty low. I'm going to try and bend this bracket again. There we go. That's a little higher. Okay, and I can hit these down again if I need to. Get the hammers out of the way and bend it up again. There we go. Rather be higher and then hit it down. That's easier than bending it up. So let's see what we got now. Okay. Nobody's chatty tonight. That's okay. But if you want to say something, feel free. You're not going to mess me up or anything. Well, you know, too much. Okay. So that little dowel's down again. If I pull this in. Okay. Let's see what we got. That's obviously a problem, right? But what is it hanging up on actually? It's actually hanging up on... Okay, so that is too close. And if I move the... Of course I don't have my middle pedal. Let me connect my middle pedal again down there so I can kind of play around with it. So I can wiggle that sostenuto a little bit. Okay, It's definitely clearing the dampers. It's way too high right here. And too close. Okay, so I'm going to pull it back. Don't worry, we'll get there. I'm not worried. It's just a matter of fussing with it. So we're going to loosen these and push this away from the dampers a bit. I'll kind of do one at a time here. I'll focus on one area at a time. I'm going to focus on this middle area because it's easy to see when I look down through there. And I have to locate the action with the blocks each time so that it's in the right spot. Okay. Oh, I didn't bend it down, did I? Not yet, but... So it's actually... So it needs to be lower. I can hit that lower from the top really easily. Just grab my screwdriver here. And I can reach, I'll stand this higher again. I can reach down through the top and hit that bracket and bend it down a little bit. Okay, let's see how that did. So it's too low. Okay. Hit it down too much or something. All right, let's try that. Okay, the height is good on that one, just it's too close. You want it to go, you want the blade to go so that when it swings under, here's the tab, you want it to overlap, a couple millimeters so that, first of all, it prevents tabs from coming up and jumping on top and sustaining. That's the way it works. The blade should be a little higher, like this, and it goes over those tabs. You play the note and then it catches the tab. So right now this is like shoved too far this way. So I just need to back it up a little more. Okay. Hey, we got a few more people around. What's everybody up to? Okay, now I've got the right amount of overlap here. Now why is this one? Now I gotta see what's going on over here, this next one. And I think we're too low. I think we're too low here. Give that a try anyway. Bend it up. See what happens there. Setting this isn't too bad if you're just patient, you know. All right. Okay, the height is good, but it's too close. So now we'll pull it away a little bit like we did the other one. We're getting there. All right. So I need to loosen the screws, both of them, and push this towards me a bit. Just a little bit. Okay. Let's see where we're at now. Okay, I think it's too high, just a little bit. So I can just tap that down. The last one I way overdid it, right? It went right back down. I'm just gonna very lightly tap. That might have overdone it still, but gotta have your cheek blocks in. Let's check it again. So we're getting there. See, look, if I play these, it's getting them just right. Okay, so let's see what it's doing on the end one here. Let's see if I hit this. Gotta reach the correct pedal. That's kind of a reach there. Okay, it's way too close. I think the height is fine, but it's way too close on this end now, so I gotta pull it back. Okay, we're just regulating the New York Steinway Sustanuto system, which is kind of a bear, because you gotta go back and forth a lot because it's mounted to the action, right? So, you know, it's not as easy as most pianos. You know, they did away with this system now. The new ones don't have it. So that's kind of cool. I don't miss it for sure. I don't see like there was any advantage. Okay, and I think, I can't remember if I was too high or what on that, but we're gonna check. Whoa, I just flipped you around. Sorry about that. Okay, let's try this. Cheek blocks in. Make sure you've got a good view here of stuff. I'm gonna be, well, it's hard to get you in there totally, but I'm gonna look down here with my light, my handy light again. Okay, it's way too close. Yeah, way too close still. So I gotta pull it back more. So I loosen the wood screw, I have to hold the nut underneath, loosen that, and pull it back towards me. Yeah, I wonder if I went the wrong way, not paying attention when I just brought it out. I'm not sure. Okay, hold that nut and tighten these both down. Okay, let's try it now. Feel free to chat and question on the bells are ringing because we have to adjust it up there, obviously. But one step at a time. Okay, first of all, alright, will it clear? Is it hitting that at all? It's not hitting that at all. Okay, it's way too high. We can deal with that. We're going to hit this down. No, something's going on, right? Something bad. Still too close. It's crazy close still. I think I did move the action back. We did with the hammers for the sound. We moved it back a little bit that way. So we'll see if we can get this where it needs to be without some weird adaptation to the bracket here. But okay, I need to pull this as far this way as it'll let me, basically. And that should be about right. I moved it about 1/8 of an inch from where it used to live. Okay, let's try that. This is probably one of the longest assisted needle regulating jobs I've had to do. But now it's working there. I want to look at it, even though it's, well, it's working, right? But it should be fine, but I just want to look at it. Yeah, no, it's good. Okay, so then I need to just do these final 2 brackets over here. And I would suspect that they're too close, but they may also be too... I think it's just too close is all. Yeah. We'll see. So we're on this bracket now. I'm just going to move it back a little bit. And that might be all we have to do this one. This little light, you can get it on Amazon or something like it. I really like it. It's handy for a lot of things. Okay. So now if I move that, it's high enough. If I play the note, it goes under. But it's too high. It's a little too high, and I think I want it a little bit close. I think I moved it back a little too far. No, it's not too far. You know, this one I probably just have to move back. Yep. So we're kind of, now we've kind of discovered the pattern where it needs to go, right? So this last bracket, I just need to move it back a lot, and possibly I'll have to tap it down again. In fact, I may even just tap it down preemptively, knowing what I've seen on the others. Okay. gonna tap it down where I think it's kind of level with the other. See if that did it. No questions on sostenuto. That surprises me. Oh, look at that. Remember, we put the paraloid here. Now that's screaming right here. But it'll tone down really quick. Anyway, okay, let's check this. I can just play some notes. They're working. So now I'm going to push the pedal, push the sustain pedal, push the middle pedal. It should hold everything up. It didn't hold here. So it's either too high or too far away. And I don't know which, so I'm going to look. And I think it's too far away. Can you believe it? We got too far away. I was worried about not being far away enough. I think it's too far away. And it's just on this last one. The other ones I think are fine. So I'm going to let this kind of creep up as I loosen the screw just a little bit. Not too much, please. Okay. Then, okay. Let's see if that did it. I know I'm hitting your camera. Sorry about that. Let's try sustain pedal. They held them all up, but these look, they go when I let go of the sustain pedal. It's wagging it down. What is that telling me? It's telling me something's not right there. I gotta figure it out. And if I let go, it should fall like rainfall. Could be that this is too high still. I'm gonna take a close look. Yeah, one indicator is when I push it, they go way higher, right? Instead of just kind of holding right where they are. I think that's what it is. It's just too high. I'm going to tap it down just a tad, I hope. Okay, let's try it now. Okay, now I push the sustain pedal, push the middle pedal, and it just barely affects them there. You know, some a little more than others, that's okay. And it holds them, and then they fall like rain. So I think maybe these are still a little too high, but what I'm doing is I'm pushing the middle pedal now, holding it, and none should jump up above and be sustained. But if I play them and then push the pedal, I think we're still too high, but I don't want to mess it up because it's working good, you know. There we go. Yeah, still too high in the bass and low tenor here. Okay, let's try again. don't want to take it too far. Tapped it down a little more. Go a little lower on this guy. Okay. Maybe beggars shouldn't be choosers, or, you know, be choosy. Okay. So now we just control with the pedal how far it rotates. Right now that blade is just rotating too much. So we will put a stop in there that's right about there instead of where I can push the pedal a little too far at this point. So we're going to add a little piece of felt under there. And that'll be that. And I think I like where it is otherwise. So I don't need something very thick. It's just going a little bit further than where we want. So I'm going to grab something thin. Something thin and made of felt. Well, I'm just going to try a piece of my old temperament strip here. That'll do it. That might be too much. I'll show you where the stop block is under here for this. So it's right here. When the middle pedal operates, that's what stops it, how far the pedal goes. So we're just going to put a piece of felt there, put a piece of green felt. That's too, I think that's too thick, but let's look up top and check. All right, let's see. So it's actually just right. See, when I push them and then I push the middle pedal, it holds them right where they are. But then when I push the pedal, they're not allowed to jump over. And that actually feels really nice. So I'm going to glue that thing in there. We're set. So I'll pull it and glue it. And that's that for the middle pedal. Regulated. Done. Okay. All right. Just gonna stuff that under there with the glue. Just enough glue to hold it in place. Don't want it to make a loud noise. I got some glue on the wood, so I don't want that because it'll just make a weird noise when it hits, which we don't want. Okay, let's try this again. Okay. All right, I think that's it. And now we'll regulate the other pedals. We got the hardest one done. Actually, we've already regulated the what do you call it? The left pedal, right? The una corda. Okay, so for the sustain pedal, we play the sharps, then we play the sustain pedal, and it should raise right up to the level of those sharps. We should see them wiggle a little bit, maybe a little bit. And they do. So we don't have to do anything there. But now we need to regulate. So the pedal's already, it's adjusted as far as the upstop goes, where it stops. It's in the right spot. As far as where it starts pushing the mechanism, that is just, remember we made a gap with the tray so that, you know, if I move the pedal this much, it's not doing anything, and then it starts to lift them. Okay, but this controls the upstop, and usually I have to change that out, that felt, but it's the right adjustment for now. So I need to take this adjustment nut and run it up because we don't want that much play in what's going on. Okay, and I don't know if you'll be able to see this from where I let that down, but basically I'm just loosening the lock nut and all the way so I can adjust this thing. Now I'm going to run the adjust nut up a little bit till I see, you know, actually we haven't made a permanent pitman for this, have we? So I'm actually going to run the adjustment nut kind of in the middle of its throw here. And then we need to make a pitman. That's what we need to do. So we need a pitman that's longer than what's in here, but I want to leave room on this adjustment nut so that it can be adjusted either way comfortably. So I kind of put it in the middle. Now I'm going to pull out the pitman, and we need to make a pitman that's the right length. It needs to be a little longer than this to be right. Okay. So if you've seen me make pitmans before, you know the drill. Let's see. Hey, okay, battery 63%. Good. So I'm going to go get a dowel and a couple punchings. See what we got. How's our battery over here? I'm going to plug this in. Okay. Let's go get a dowel. That's where all the bugs are coming from. My back door is open. They left it open for ventilation. Whoopsie. That was the problem. Couldn't figure it out. It's like, why is it getting hot in here? Why are the bugs coming in? Okay. Got a dowel here. I'm going to cut it over on the bandsaw. I know you can't really see probably, but I'm back here at the bandsaw. Okay, I'm going to try this. Oh great, it's not plugged in. Great, 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 great. Now I'm hoping this is too long because I can always cut it shorter, right? So I'll show you here on the table. So I cut that a little longer than my adjustable one. And then I have these punchings that I bought a long time ago. They're these white ones. And I'm going to glue those on there. I'm going to just glue one end in right now. If I can find where I set that glue just now. There it is. Okay, what's going on here? All right, let's just glue one of these on. We'll cut the other end as needed. Just kind of center that. And I'm going to stick it in the piano blank like this with the punching there and see how it is lengthwise. Probably, yeah, I'm just getting under here, sticking that up through the hole in the bottom. And I'm going to put the punching in the recessed area on the lever here. No, you can't see, sorry, but okay. All right, then I'm going to let's see if that's close to what we want. Way too long, as expected. Which is just fine for us. So, we're going to cut a little shorter, right? We can do that. We can handle that. And this is just going to be kind of trial and error a little bit. If we go too far with it on this piano, it has adjustable nuts on the bottom. So there's always that. If we go too far. I wonder if I... Okay, here we go with the rod. Stick that in. I gotta get the rod where it's gonna be. Hey, that feels just right. I'll show you here. I'll grab the camera and show you. Okay, so when I push the pedal with my finger right here, when I push the pedal this much up there it moves just a little bit, right? So this much, not doing anything, and then it lifts the dampers. So it's a lot more movement at the pedal, like about 10 millimeters or so. And then up here, it's going to make a gap with the tray of 2 millimeters. If I decide it's too much later, I can just loosen that lock nut and run the adjustment screw up a little bit. Now that I've got plenty of room for adjustment on it. Okay, but I think it's good. I'll go ahead and minimize it though, just in case. Let's see if I like it better. And this is something that, you know, technicians should just maintain. Just check every time because it can get out of adjustment. So I'm gonna just run this up until that's really minimal. Okay. Then retighten the lock screw. Okay. And that probably made it shorter, just that process of tightening it. Yeah, that's just right. Just right. Dink. Which is basically where we had it. So I'm okay with it. Okay, so that is we didn't even have to do an upstop. So the sostenuto was way more difficult on this than usual. But the other pedals we didn't have to do felt pieces for the upstops on these, on the sustain pedal. So that was good. But now we have to do the upstop rail for the dampers, because if I push, oh no, I do need to do an upstop. After I fix that to the different length, now that it lifts a little sooner, it's lifting way higher than the sharps lift the keys. So I do need to make a thicker block, which makes sense. I just forgot that it would do that. So I need to pop off this block, this felt block down here. So we're gonna just pop this block off. I'm gonna rip it off. Not bare hands, but I need both hands. So just a second. Oops. Hopefully your camera's still working. Okay, my bare hands. So it was just glued on there previous, right? So now we're gonna take this block and switch it for a fatter one. And we're kind of guessing as to how much fatter. Take you over to the table here. Okay, here's that guy. Grab the block. The material that we use. Here's an old one that I had. It's higher, but it might be just right. I mean, why? It doesn't have to be pretty. Let's just check and see if this works, because it's thicker already. So now I'll stick this underneath without glue first. So if I want to switch it, I can. Okay, I'm gonna try. I'm guessing it's not thick enough, but we'll see. So push some sharp keys all the way down, then push the pedal. It should lift just to that point and not further, but it goes a little bit further. So we do need that to be just a little bit thicker, okay? But at least we have another sample to know, to narrow it down how thick we need. So here's this. Let's see what we have. Is this thicker? This is thicker than that by a bit, by a little bit. This is a little more. I think this corner will do nicely. Let me get a blade. Okay. Working hard. Which one was it? Which was it? Not that one. It was this one. Okay. You knew that though, but I didn't. Okay, so I'm just going to cut down on that. It's easy to cut this on the bandsaw too. Let's see, we can do without that air compressor. I don't think I need that tonight here. But anyway, it'll shut off soon enough. Okay. We have the door open on my cabinet too, so it's louder. Push the sharps. Mostly gonna look here. Then the pedal should lift just to that point. It goes a little higher. I can just scoot that block back and it'll stop it sooner, I think. Let's see if that did it. Nope. I want a thicker block. Okay then, let's grab this. Get a slightly thicker block than this even. Okay, what's going on with that? Oh, well, so I don't really have, oh, maybe a little thicker. Here, let's check. Oh, it is thicker on that side. I just cut the wrong corner. That's all I did. Okay. Just cut him here and here. Okay, let's try this. 10th time's the charm, right? Let's see how it goes. All right, stick this under there. I can kind of tell. I can kind of feel just because I do this a lot, right? I'm like, yeah, I think this is it. There. Okay, now, so that's set. I just need to glue it in place on that lever. So that's all there is to that, setting the upstop there. Now, we just need to set the damper upstop rail. That's going to be we have to remove the action for that. But now that we have the pedal adjusted correctly, we know where this highest point is that the dampers need to lift. Okay, so we can take the action out and do this just fine, but I gotta remove all my clutter that I made here. Ooh, it's warm tonight. Used to the colder weather, and now 70s, 80s feels hot to me. Put our adjustable pitman back. We're going to take this action out now. You got to grunt when you do it, okay? So people know you work hard. All right. So I'll get you in front row seat to the damper upstop rail here in a moment. All right. Okay, front row seat. Okay, here's our damper upstop rail. There's the screws that hold it in place. And right now, the way it's set, let's see, I'll let you be able to see the whole thing here. Right now, the way it's set, if I push the pedal down, these can go quite a bit up before they hit that rail. And they can make that noise too. So we want to minimize that jumping play. Someone asked this a long time ago in the stream last time. So I'm going to loosen these screws. And these kind of adjustments are really kind of the same on all pianos. It's not like, now Steinway might behave a little bit different, but it's the same idea. You don't want this rail like interfering with your touch when you push the key. You don't want it to limit the dip or anything, or the pedal, but you want it just higher so that it'll hug the so that it'll keep this from raising too high. Okay, I gotta loosen this more so I can shove it down there. And it happens to be right where the old holes were. What do you know? Someone knew what they were doing. Okay, so that leaves like a couple millimeter gap. And I'm just gonna tighten these back down. Check the end, maybe lower that a little bit. And then tighten it. I can reach in here and push it down with my fingers. I tighten. Sorry, you can't see that. My arm's probably in the way. But tighten them real good. Now these have a tiny bit of play before they hit that, okay? And we'll tighten these others too. Okay, now it's kind of uniform across. And this is a little more gap than I would leave on a normal piano because these might lift a little higher as the key lifts them too. Okay. But now when we stick the action in, I'll show you what's up with that. Okay, here we go. Got to get the action in just a moment. All right. Now, stick this in. Wiggle the soft pedal to get it in place. Okay, now when we push the key, push the damper felts. Now these will pop up just a little bit. Have a little bit of freedom, but not too much. It's just a real solid feel is what you get versus when those flop up way too high. Okay, we need to knead a little bit. In this area that I strengthened earlier. So first thing I'm going to do is the una corda position again. Same thing what we did before. And I think I went from B up to like E or E flat. So I'm going to get this B here and just needle. My marks are still there, so I can just go over my marks again and reestablish that. And it's really just kind of breaking a crust. It's not like I need to push much deeper on these. Okay, just this whole area. Same as before. Okay, this one. There goes the AC. It's needed. It's getting warm. Compact that down a little bit. Keep going up to E or so. One more note. Then we'll see what we have and do a little bit more needling. We didn't have to do much needling on this piano. We kind of hit the mark a little bit. I'm kind of, like in this space, I'm a little bit tempted to like, oh, I just want another drop of paraloid across the board just to bring it up, but no, I think it'll be fine. And better to wait until it gets in its final space, you know, for that to happen if needed. So with the pedal, soft pedal, without. So now these are just a little too bright, okay? These. And you know, I expected them to be there, but I wanted it stronger. So now when I tone down that brightness just a little bit, it'll be stronger still, but I can still blend it, okay, with the color of the rest. So I'm just kind of probing a little bit, also roughing up the very top layers of felt, and then sinking a little deeper in the middle of the string groove, right where it hits. On the top, okay. These notes, they need a little more brightness than the rest. Just to compete. With the lower notes that have way more sustain and all that. Now when I'm shoving the needle in, I'm going maybe a millimeter or two is all, because it's pretty firm felt. So when I plunge deep, it's not very deep when these high ones, okay? You hear how this is out of balance? This is balanced. Out of balance. Needle. This one has a little bit different character. It's kind of a touchy note, but we'll blend it a little bit. Not even going to touch the G sharp, just go on to the other one because it sounded good. So to get up higher, I probably need to do less on these. It's a little strong yet. Go ahead and I'll sink a little deeper on that. Pretty much just on each one, unless it doesn't need it. There are some that won't need it, and you just skip them. And then if you decide later to do them, you do them. That's a little strong there. And these I kind of left alone. I haven't needled them a lot. This note pops on the attack a little more, so I'm going to go off the groove, just the end of the groove away from me a little bit, and just soften it up. I'm not pushing really hard. This G down here, though, is more metallic too. It's a little hotter also, so fix that. Touch up down here a bit. I'm just going through, and either just too hard. Should have a sweet sound, you know, to it. The G still pops, so it's not so much. I'm gonna go right in the middle, maybe just a little deeper is all. And these will come back strong after being played a bit, so. Sticks out a little in timbre. That one does. Just kind of more metallic sounding, right? You don't want to get all of that out, but you want it out of those soft dynamics. At least usually. If you need a piano to be really hot and bright and everything, then you know you don't need to. When you hear it for a while, you can start to pick those out. We'll just keep evening here. Right, that one's a little hot. Just a little bit, a little stronger. you need the touch to be even under your fingers. If one feels louder under your finger that's playing even, then you hit it. You know, and if I decided, oh, I went too far with that, I don't want it that mellow, I wouldn't hesitate at all to put more paraloid, just a drop of paraloid back on. Okay, so I'm gonna, when you play on it, it kind of changes a little bit. So I'm gonna play this in a bit and then I want a nice intimate sound. But I can play bright really easily. And that's all with the left pedal. Then if I want to go even further, I'm voicing the una corda a little bit, just touching them. Something about those is kind of sticking out to me, so I'm trying to find where the hard spot is. There we go. So this is kind of a different piano than the brighter one that we had, you know, a little earlier. We could take it back there if we wanted, but this will sound a little more better. And all that power that we built up, we still have access to. I know we're going beyond 30s there, but obviously the tuning's wandered a little bit. making sure that wasn't hitting the damper wire. It's not. Once we secure the cheek box down, it won't make that clicking noise. Okay, I want to just play some. I'm trying to play into it a little more because the room here, I have to play into it a little more to like project. Plus, after you needle, it'll come in. It's becoming more clear already. Just getting a feel for it. Like, I'm not super, like, I know the sound's probably really great, like on the, like on this, on the mic, but I wonder. Sometimes I'll get in a mode like, oh, I want to make sure it's big enough, big enough, big enough. And I'll end up kind of gravitating into a thing where I'm playing like differently than I normally would. So I'll think, oh no, I need to voice it up again. Whereas it might be fine. So I've been playing like the top range of this dynamics, was really, it drops down really nice. Yeah, I don't know. Probably just need to sleep on it and then come back to it. And then tomorrow I'll be like, this is great, you know. love the classical sound on this. How does it go? Anyway. It really can come up and sting you. I guess some people have those pounders that just pound the piano, right? All night, and then they come in the morning. I guess I pound it all night, and then I come back in. I look for that, like, that threshold where the tone like comes as a compact package and it sticks out. Like that one didn't have it. But then after just hitting it a few times, it has it, you know. It has to tactily feel good to the fingers. And it's feeling a lot better to me after just kind of after that session, you know. Well, let's see how are things going here. Let's see if anybody has oh, whoops, sound kept cutting out, huh? Sorry about that. Anyway, you've kind of hung for the duration here, haven't you? Helps when the AC cuts out. Now the sound's not canceled out as much. Anyway. tomorrow I'm going to come in the morning, put a fresh tuning on it, listen to it, and I think we'll be there. And I think then all we have to add is we'll just put the upstop rail on here, which doesn't have much of a function, and then we'll stick the bar on that goes on the plate there. And obviously there's one damper that's sharp that I'm going to fix. Everything else is like, it sounds like it should be like kind of textbook. But I don't know if this piano needs a little, I don't know. We'll see tomorrow. I'll do that though. Yeah. Yeah, it could just be that I'm like fried, and my brain is just, so we'll see. We'll see tomorrow. If you have any kind of questions you want to end up with tonight, I'm happy to look at the chat and see if there's anything we want answered. It looks like the sound was cutting out before, and then maybe it kind of got better. But anyway, thanks for watching, and it's getting good. It's getting good. We're almost there. All right. Thanks a lot. We'll see you around next time.